What if you could unlock a philosophy so powerful it has guided emperors, warriors, and thinkers for centuries? Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom reserved for marble statues or dusty scrolls. It's a timeless guide for modern living. These 8 principles, rooted in resilience, clarity, and purpose, can be the key to overcoming life's chaos, embracing inner peace, and achieving true fulfillment. Whether you're facing relentless challenges, seeking emotional balance, or striving for a more meaningful existence, Stoicism offers actionable tools that you can apply starting today. From mastering your emotions to focusing on what you can control, these principles empower you to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and grace. Are you ready to step into the mindset of the greats and transform your life one principle at a time? Let's explore how Stoicism can reshape your perspective and elevate your journey. Number 1. The power of self-reliance. The Stoic Guide to Inner Peace. Stoicism teaches us that true peace begins with self-reliance. When we depend on others for happiness or validation, we hand over control of our well-being to forces outside ourselves, leaving our inner stability at risk. Instead, Stoicism urges us to cultivate self-sufficiency, an enduring strength that liberates us from external dependencies and fosters both personal fulfillment and healthier relationships. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, emphasized that it is not events or people that disturb us, but our judgments about them. This insight applies to how we approach relationships. The belief that others must complete us or meet our emotional needs is a judgment we can challenge. True strength lies in realizing that our happiness is ours to cultivate, independent of external influences. This shift in perspective transforms us into more balanced individuals, ready to approach life with clarity and resilience. Self-reliance does not mean rejecting relationships or withdrawing from others. Instead, it means building a strong inner foundation so our interactions are driven by mutual respect, rather than emotional dependence. Seneca warned of the burdens dependency places on both ourselves and others, observing that when we seek fulfillment externally, we weaken our capacity for self-respect. Balanced relationships arise when both individuals are whole, not seeking to fill voids they occur on another. Marcus Aurelius, writing in Meditations, reflected on the importance of self-mastery. When we derive contentment from within, we approach relationships from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. This allows us to give freely without the expectation that others must resolve our insecurities. Such relationships, built on independence and respect, are more sustainable and meaningful. Self-reliance also equips us to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience. By anchoring our sense of worth internally, we become less vulnerable to the highs and lows of external circumstances. The Stoics remind us to focus on what lies within our control, our thoughts, actions, and principles, while accepting that the behavior of others and external events remain beyond our reach. This acceptance frees us from unnecessary frustration and grants us the mental clarity to respond thoughtfully to life's challenges. Furthermore, self-reliance strengthens our ability to set healthy boundaries. When we value ourselves, we are less likely to tolerate relationships or situations that undermine our well-being. This is not about arrogance, but a clear understanding of our intrinsic worth. By standing firm in our values, we attract relationships and opportunities that align with our principles and enrich our lives. The Stoic vision of self-reliance is ultimately one of empowerment. It challenges us to take responsibility for our own happiness, rather than outsourcing it to others. This independence enhances not only our inner peace, but also the quality of our connections with others. Freed from the transactional nature of dependence, our relationships become opportunities for genuine growth and mutual respect. To cultivate self-reliance, the Stoics recommend regular self-reflection and mindfulness. By examining our desires and motivations, we can identify areas where we might be relying too heavily on external sources for happiness. Practices such as journaling, famously used by Marcus Aurelius, can help us align our thoughts and actions with Stoic principles, fostering a mindset of independence and strength. Number 2. The power of mystery in relationships. In a world that often equates openness with trust and overexposure with intimacy, Stoicism offers a more nuanced perspective on human connections. It teaches the value of preserving a measure of mystery in our relationships, not as a tool for manipulation, but as a means of fostering respect, engagement, and personal dignity. By practicing self-restraint and introspection, we create space for curiosity and mutual respect, deepening the bonds that matter most while protecting our inner peace. Stoicism encourages self-reflection as a cornerstone of personal growth. This principle reminds us that our inner world is a sanctuary, a place to nurture our values, virtues, and aspirations. When we reveal everything about ourselves too quickly or too completely, we risk overexposing our thoughts and emotions, leaving little for others to discover. This lack of boundaries can dilute the richness of relationships, turning meaningful exchanges into mundane familiarity. By choosing to share selectively and thoughtfully, we not only protect our inner selves, but also encourage others to engage with us on a deeper level. Epictetus often emphasized the importance of self-containment, suggesting that our thoughts and emotions are best safeguarded through discretion. This does not mean closing ourselves off entirely, but rather sharing in a way that aligns with our values and purpose. When we cultivate this kind of mindful sharing, we invite others to respect our boundaries and see us as individuals with depth and complexity. This sense of mystery, a deliberate choice to retain some aspects of ourselves, can make relationships more engaging and meaningful. The Stoic approach to mystery is not about secrecy or deception. It is about maintaining the dignity of our inner lives. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reflected on the balance between openness and reserve. He understood that self-possession is integral to self-respect. To give everything away, to allow every thought and emotion to spill out unguarded, diminishes the value of what we share. In contrast, holding some things close to our hearts preserves their significance, making what we do share more impactful and genuine. Maintaining an air of mystery also serves to protect our capacity for introspection. When we retain some privacy in our thoughts, we give ourselves the room to reflect and grow. This practice aligns with the Stoic belief that personal development is a lifelong process, best cultivated in a space of quiet contemplation. By keeping certain aspects of ourselves private, we allow our inner world to flourish, free from the distortions of external judgment or validation. Moreover, this sense of reserve fosters healthier dynamics in relationships. Constant sharing can overwhelm or burden others, creating an imbalance where curiosity and engagement fade. A degree of mystery, however, encourages reciprocity. It invites others to invest effort in understanding us, nurturing mutual respect and deeper connections. This balance enhances the quality of relationships, making them not just a source of companionship, but a shared journey of discovery. In the Stoic view, the deliberate practice of discretion is also a way to guard against the potential pitfalls of overdependence. When we share everything without restraint, we may inadvertently tie our sense of self-worth to how others respond to our vulnerability. By maintaining a measure of privacy, we affirm our independence and prevent our relationships from becoming a mirror for validation. This autonomy strengthens not only our self-respect, but also the respect others have for us. Number 3. The Stoic art of listening, creating space for connection. In a world often dominated by noise and the race to make ourselves heard, Stoicism offers a timeless lesson on the value of listening and leaving space for others. Far from being passive, this practice embodies one of the core principles of Stoic philosophy, cultivating mutual respect and fostering meaningful relationships through mindful communication. The Stoics remind us that true connection begins with the act of listening, not merely hearing words, but fully engaging with the other person's perspective. By stepping back from the urge to dominate conversations or rush to express our own thoughts, we create an environment where others feel seen, valued, and respected. This is not a surrender of influence, but a demonstration of wisdom and self-discipline, virtues that lie at the heart of Stoic practice. Stoic listening is an active process, one that requires restraint and an openness to perspectives outside of our own. Epictetus emphasized the importance of controlling what we say and when we say it. By exercising discretion in speech, we make room for others to contribute. Silence, in this sense, becomes a powerful tool, not a void to be filled, but a space that allows relationships to flourish. When we resist the urge to fill every pause or take every conversational lead, we show others that their voice matters, fostering a dynamic of reciprocity and shared respect. In relationships, whether personal or professional, leaving space for others to speak strengthens bonds and builds trust. This approach shifts the dynamic from one-sided monologues to balanced dialogues. It signals that the relationship is not about control or dominance, but about genuine engagement. By doing so, we foster a sense of equality, where each party feels heard and valued, creating a foundation for deeper and more harmonious interactions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the importance of humility in relationships. He recognized that listening is not a weakness but a form of strength that reflects inner confidence and respect for others. To listen well, he suggested, is to prioritize understanding over judgment, curiosity over certainty. This mindset transforms interactions, making them less about self-promotion and more about mutual growth. The Stoic practice of creating space also teaches us patience. In conversations, it can be tempting to fill every pause or steer discussions toward topics that interest us. But true mindfulness in communication means resisting these impulses. Instead, we can embrace the pauses, allowing others the time to articulate their thoughts. This patience demonstrates a deep respect for their input, reinforcing the idea that their contributions are as important as our own. Moreover, giving others the opportunity to take the lead or initiate dialogue reflects the Stoic principle of valuing collaboration over control. By letting go of the need to dominate discussions, we open the door to richer, more diverse exchanges. We learn from others' perspectives, broadening our understanding and strengthening our relationships. This willingness to share space in communication mirrors the Stoic belief that wisdom and growth come from engaging with the world, not imposing our views upon it. At its core, this practice of mindful listening and creating space for others is about living in accordance with virtue. It aligns with the Stoic values of respect, humility, and self-control. When we prioritize listening over speaking, we cultivate a deeper sense of harmony in our interactions, making them less about proving our worth and more about honoring the shared human experience. The benefits of this approach extend beyond individual relationships. In a broader sense, it fosters a culture of mutual respect and understanding. When we listen with intention and allow others the freedom to express themselves, we contribute to a more compassionate and connected community. This practice serves as a reminder that true power in communication lies not in dominating, but in empowering others to share their voice. Number 4. Virtue as the pillar of enduring relationships. Stoicism provides a profound framework for nurturing and strengthening relationships by emphasizing the practice of core virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues, foundational to Stoic philosophy, are not abstract ideals but practical tools that enable us to create deeper, more meaningful connections with others. By acting virtuously in our interactions, we build relationships rooted in trust, fairness, and mutual respect. Wisdom guides us to approach relationships thoughtfully, encouraging us to see situations clearly and avoid hasty judgments. It reminds us to listen before reacting and to consider the perspectives of others without being clouded by assumptions or emotional impulses. When applied to moments of conflict, wisdom allows us to evaluate the situation with clarity, addressing misunderstandings constructively and fostering open communication. Courage in relationships is about confronting challenges with integrity. It takes courage to admit mistakes, face difficult conversations, or stand firm in the face of disagreements while remaining respectful. Courage does not mean imposing one's will on others, rather, it entails addressing issues with honesty and humility, even when it feels uncomfortable. By doing so, we create an environment where vulnerability and authenticity are valued. Justice, as the Stoics define it, involves treating others fairly and with empathy. It requires that we honor our commitments and consider the needs of others alongside our own. Justice ensures that relationships are not one-sided but balanced, where both individuals feel valued and heard. By practicing justice, we create a foundation of trust and equality, essential for any healthy relationship. Temperance, the virtue of moderation and self-control, is crucial in managing emotions and expectations. It teaches us to remain calm during disagreements and to resist the urge to retaliate or escalate conflicts. Temperance reminds us to act with patience and restraint, ensuring that our actions reflect our higher values rather than impulsive reactions. This virtue fosters stability and harmony, even in the most challenging situations. When these virtues are consistently practiced, relationships grow stronger and more enduring. Stoicism emphasizes that acting virtuously in all relationships, romantic, familial, or professional, lays the groundwork for fairness, empathy, and consistency. It is through these virtues that we address conflicts with integrity, communicate openly, and create an atmosphere of mutual respect and understanding. Stoicism teaches us that the essence of a meaningful relationship lies not in avoiding difficulties, but in approaching them with virtue. Wisdom helps us navigate complexity with insight. Courage empowers us to face challenges with honesty. Justice ensures fairness and empathy. And temperance allows us to maintain balance and patience. Together, these virtues create a blueprint for building and sustaining relationships that are not only meaningful but also resilient. Number 5. The art of emotional mastery in relationships. Within the realm of human relationships, emotions often act as both bridges and barriers. While they have the power to deepen connections, unchecked emotions can also lead to misunderstandings and conflict. Stoicism offers a timeless approach to navigating this delicate balance by encouraging emotional awareness and thoughtful responses. The goal is not to suppress emotions, but to understand and manage them, creating space for healthier and more meaningful interactions. At the heart of Stoic practice lies the principle of acknowledging emotions without letting them dictate our actions. Emotions, after all, are natural reactions to external events, but they do not define us. By reflecting on our feelings before acting, we create a buffer between impulse and response. This pause is where true mastery begins, allowing us to align our actions with reason and virtue rather than being swept away by fleeting emotional tides. The Stoics emphasize that the mind holds the key to how we experience and express emotions. Epictetus famously taught that it is not events themselves, but our interpretations of them that disturb us. By questioning the narratives we attach to our feelings, we can diffuse emotional intensity and approach situations with greater clarity. This practice is particularly valuable in relationships, where emotions often run high. When we take the time to reflect rather than react, we foster an environment of understanding and mutual respect. Mastering emotional responses doesn't mean erasing emotion from our lives. It means cultivating a deeper awareness of our inner world. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us that we are not slaves to our feelings. Instead, we have the power to channel them productively, using emotions as tools for connection rather than sources of division. When we approach relationships with this mindset, we prioritize reflection over reactivity, ensuring that our interactions are guided by intention rather than impulse. This emotional awareness strengthens the bonds we share with others. Thoughtful responses demonstrate respect and care, building trust and fostering a sense of safety within relationships. By choosing our reactions wisely, we create space for honest communication and empathy, paving the way for deeper connections. Trust, once established, becomes the foundation for enduring relationships, allowing individuals to navigate challenges together with resilience and understanding. Stoicism teaches that the quality of our relationships often mirrors the quality of our inner dialogue. When we learn to manage our emotions, we not only improve our personal well-being, but also elevate the way we engage with others. A calm and composed mind radiates stability, making us better partners, friends, and colleagues. This composure invites others to feel at ease, encouraging a reciprocal exchange of kindness and mutual respect. The path to mastering emotions in relationships requires patience and practice. It begins with self-awareness, recognizing our triggers and understanding the patterns that shape our reactions. Once we identify these patterns, we can challenge them, replacing impulsive habits with thoughtful deliberation. Each moment of restraint becomes an opportunity to practice virtue, aligning our actions with principles of wisdom, courage, and temperance. In navigating the complexities of relationships, the Stoic approach provides a roadmap for harmony. By mastering our emotions, we free ourselves from the turmoil of impulsive reactions, creating space for trust, empathy, and genuine connection. Healthy relationships are not built on perfection, but on the commitment to grow and improve together. Emotional mastery is the foundation of this growth, enabling us to bring our best selves to every interaction. Number 6. Strength in vulnerability. A Stoic perspective on building deeper connections. In the realm of human relationships, vulnerability often carries an undeserved reputation as a sign of weakness. Yet the Stoics remind us that vulnerability is not a flaw to hide, but a powerful tool for fostering genuine connections. Embracing vulnerability allows us to transcend superficial bonds, cultivating relationships built on trust, understanding, and mutual support. Far from being a liability, vulnerability becomes a strength, an essential foundation for emotional resilience and growth. At its core, vulnerability is about openness, allowing others to see us not as flawless beings, but as humans navigating life's challenges. Stoicism, often misunderstood as advocating emotional suppression, instead encourages a thoughtful engagement with our emotions. By acknowledging our own struggles and inviting others to do the same, we create a space for authenticity. This authenticity, the Stoics argue, is crucial for forming relationships that endure. Epictetus, for instance, would likely view vulnerability as a practice of courage. Sharing our fears, doubts, and aspirations requires bravery, as it involves exposing parts of ourselves that may invite judgment. Yet in doing so, we pave the way for deeper understanding. By presenting ourselves honestly, we allow others to do the same, fostering a shared sense of humanity. Vulnerability then becomes an act of mutual liberation from the masks we often wear in the name of self-protection. Marcus Aurelius, writing in his Meditations, reflects on the interconnected nature of human life. He emphasizes the importance of recognizing our shared struggles and supporting one another through them. This principle aligns seamlessly with the role of vulnerability in relationships. When we dare to reveal our true selves, we extend an invitation for others to connect with us on a meaningful level. Such connections are not only enriching, but also provide the emotional strength to face life's adversities with greater resilience. Vulnerability also encourages growth not just within the individual, but within the relationship itself. By exposing our imperfections, we invite opportunities for mutual learning and support. Seneca, in his writings, often highlighted the transformative power of shared experiences. He believed that life's challenges, when faced collectively, strengthen the bonds between individuals. Vulnerability is the gateway to this shared resilience, allowing relationships to evolve from transactional exchanges into profound partnerships. Moreover, Stoicism teaches that vulnerability and strength are not opposites but complementary forces. To show vulnerability is to embrace our humanity fully, acknowledging that we are neither invincible nor isolated. This acknowledgement fosters empathy, a cornerstone of meaningful relationships. Empathy allows us to see others not as distant figures but as reflections of ourselves, deepening our connections and reinforcing the Stoic principle of mutual interdependence. In practical terms, embracing vulnerability in relationships means engaging in honest communication and showing up as our true selves. It involves sharing not just our triumphs, but also our fears and failures. It is in these moments of openness that trust is forged. Trust, in turn, creates the stability needed to navigate the inevitable challenges that arise in any relationship. The Stoics would argue that this cycle of vulnerability, trust and resilience is what transforms relationships into spaces of growth and understanding. Number 7. Building meaningful connections, the Stoic approach to relationships. In Stoic philosophy, relationships are more than mere associations or shared moments. They are opportunities for mutual growth, understanding and alignment with one's values. The Stoics emphasize that true connection arises when individuals engage with each other fully, prioritizing presence and shared principles over superficial interactions. By living in harmony with our personal values and extending this integrity to our relationships, we cultivate bonds that are both enriching and enduring. To the Stoics, being present is not simply a matter of physical proximity, but of deliberate attention. It requires us to set aside distractions and truly immerse ourselves in the company of others. Active listening, a cornerstone of Stoic practice, invites us to hear not only words but the emotions and intentions behind them. In doing so, we demonstrate care and respect, both essential components of any meaningful connection. This attentiveness allows us to respond thoughtfully, ensuring our actions align with our values and support the relationship's foundation. Shared values form the bedrock of lasting and fulfilling relationships. For the Stoics, values such as wisdom, integrity, and mutual respect transcend individual preferences, fostering connections that are rooted in deeper principles. When we build relationships on these shared values, we create a space for trust and understanding to flourish. This alignment also encourages us to act with authenticity and consistency, further strengthening the bond between individuals. The Stoics remind us that relationships built on fleeting interests or shallow exchanges lack the depth required for true fulfillment. Stoicism also teaches that relationships are not passive constructs but active engagements. Every interaction is an opportunity to practice virtue, whether it's patience during a disagreement, kindness in a moment of vulnerability, or courage in addressing challenges together. By approaching relationships with this mindset, we elevate them from casual interactions to deliberate partnerships that enhance the lives of everyone involved. The importance of being fully present cannot be overstated. In today's fast-paced world, distractions often prevent us from giving our undivided attention to those we care about. Stoicism challenges this modern tendency by encouraging us to slow down and focus on the present moment. When we are truly present, we not only experience richer connections but also inspire others to do the same. This mutual presence creates a cycle of engagement and appreciation, reinforcing the relationship's value. At the heart of Stoicism is the belief that relationships thrive when they are guided by purpose and virtue. When we bring intentionality to our interactions, we create an environment where trust and understanding can grow. Being present with others is a reflection of this intentionality, a recognition that the time we spend together is both valuable and finite. By prioritizing presence and aligning our actions with shared values, we nurture connections that are both meaningful and enduring. Number 8. The Wealth of Time. A Stoic Guide to Intentional Living. Time, the most finite and irreplaceable resource, stands at the heart of Stoic philosophy. How we choose to spend it, and with whom, defines not only the quality of our lives but the legacy we leave behind. For the Stoics, time is not merely a passing measure but a gift that demands mindfulness and deliberate choices. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, emphasized the importance of guarding time with the same vigilance as we protect our physical possessions. He taught that each moment holds an opportunity to engage in something meaningful. Whether pursuing virtue, cultivating relationships, or reflecting on life's purpose, time wasted on distractions or shallow pursuits is irretrievable, making intentionality the cornerstone of a life well lived. For Epictetus, the key to fulfillment lies in choosing activities and connections that enrich our inner lives. Marcus Aurelius, burdened with the responsibilities of ruling an empire, also grappled with the demands on his time. In his meditations, Marcus reflected on the need to avoid trivial concerns and focus on what truly mattered: virtuous action, self-discipline, and meaningful relationships. Despite his immense power and wealth, Marcus recognized that a fulfilled life is defined not by external achievements, but by how we choose to spend our limited time. His writings remind us to pause and ask, are our days spent in alignment with our principles? Are we dedicating ourselves to what truly matters? Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, delivered one of Stoicism's most profound observations about time. He noted that while people jealously guard their money and possessions, they are often careless with their time, giving it freely to trivialities and others' demands. Seneca warned against this recklessness, urging us to treat time as a treasure beyond monetary value. To him, a life rich in meaning and fulfillment comes not from accumulating wealth, but from devoting time to pursuits and relationships that align with our values and enrich our souls. The Stoic perspective challenges modern norms of busyness and productivity. In today's world, where being constantly occupied is often mistaken for success, Stoicism offers a counterbalance. It urges us to prioritize depth over breadth, focusing on fewer but more meaningful activities and connections. Are we truly engaged in what matters, or are we simply filling our days with distractions? The Stoics remind us that the value of time lies not in how much we have, but in how well we use it. Intentional living also requires the courage to say no. To lead a fulfilling life, we must reject superficial commitments and relationships that drain our energy. Stoicism advocates for choosing depth in our interactions, investing time in those who truly matter and in relationships built on mutual respect and shared values. By narrowing our focus to what enriches us, we preserve our most valuable resource for what brings lasting fulfillment. The Stoics teach us to extend this intentionality to every aspect of life. They urge us to evaluate how we spend our time, ensuring it aligns with our principles. Are we devoting ourselves to pursuits that challenge and grow us? Are we taking moments to reflect, to appreciate the present, and to strengthen our character? By focusing on meaningful engagements and actions, we transform time from a fleeting resource into a foundation for a purposeful existence. The 8 principles of Stoicism are not just ancient philosophies, they are a timeless toolkit for modern challenges. From mastering your emotions to embracing the power of perspective, these principles offer a clear path to a more fulfilling and resilient life. By focusing on what you can control, you unlock the freedom to let go of what you cannot. Every moment becomes an opportunity to grow, reflect, and act with purpose. Start implementing these principles today and watch how they transform your mindset, relationships, and daily experiences. Remember, true change begins with small, consistent steps in the right direction. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit subscribe and follow our channel. There's so much more to discover about Stoicism and how it can enrich your life. Stay tuned for more exciting and life-changing content. Bye.